burned for secrets, the high price of forbidden knowledge. In the deep shadows of the medieval world, behind the veil of piety and persecution, there existed a forbidden practice, so feared, so dangerous, that those even whispering about it risked being consumed by fire. Necromancy, not the popular idea of grave robbing or zombie raising, but something far more insidious. Astral necromancy, a convergence of demonic conjuration, star-bound influence, and ancient magical theory. It was a sorcery that dared to bridge heaven, hell, and the spheres in between. It cost Cecco d'Ascoli, a brilliant but arrogant Italian scholar, his life. On September 26, 1327, flames devoured his body in Florence, a sentence handed down for practicing criminal necromancy. But his true crime, not summoning spirits, but knowing too much and refusing to stay silent. Cecco, ever the provocateur, embedded his secrets within public lectures under the guise of philosophical commentary. Using a clever rhetorical trick known as non probatur, a kind of don't shoot the messenger defense, he masked necromantic lore behind respectable academic language. But the inquisitors were not fooled. His enemies were many, his ego legendary, and his lectures laced with insights into how to summon demons through the stars. But where Cecco burned, another man would carry his torch and push the limits of magical theory far beyond what had ever been dared before. Antonio da Montolmo, the scholar who summoned the heavens. Enter Antonio da Montolmo, a name barely known outside dusty archives, yet arguably the first true architect of a magical system in medieval Europe. Born near Ancona, Italy, Antonio became a doctor of medicine, a professor of grammar and, most dangerously, a pioneer in occult philosophy. Around 1384, he ascended to the same chair of astrology once held by the now ashened Cecco. And rather than shy away from his predecessor's fate, Antonio did the unthinkable. He doubled down. Antonio authored a text that defies reason and caution, De Umbris et Manifestis, on hidden and manifest things. This wasn't just a grimoire, it was a structured, rational, scholarly framework for summoning astral demons. He signed his name to it. He admitted to trying the rituals himself. He even claimed success on cloudy, rainy nights, where lesser necromancers feared to tread. This text was no collection of hearsay or myth. It was systematic, dangerous, and utterly revolutionary. The mechanics of the invisible, how astral necromancy worked. Antonio's book outlines a terrifyingly intricate cosmos, populated by beings called intelligences. These weren't friendly guardian angels. These were fallen spirits, exiled from divine grace, suspended in the air between Earth and the Moon, closer than hell, more accessible than heaven. They were arranged in a terrifying hierarchy, demons of the four cardinal directions, linked to the elements and the zodiac. Spirits of the 12 signs, bound to fates and souls based on one's birth. And worst of all, the planetary demons, once revered as gods by pagans, now reclassified as evil intelligences, each empowered by stellar rays. The brilliance of Antonio's work was that he unified astrological elections, the timing of planetary alignments, with Solomonic magical theory. When the stars were right, when the incense smoked just so, when the proper divine names were whispered within a ritual circle, the veil between worlds could be pierced. These spirits could be bound to talismans, infused into rings and wax figures, and set to tasks from seduction to sickness, domination to death. But these were not passive spirits. They hated to be summoned. They resented human will, and worse, they were cunning. The exorcist, Antonio's preferred term for the magician, had to be perfect, pure, confident, bathed, Catholic, yet paradoxically open to sin. The more corruptible the soul, the more likely the demons would come. And Antonio? He wasn't just theorizing. He confessed to calling them, rain pouring down, stars hidden, and still they came. The last forbidden book, why the Umbris nearly disappeared forever. Antonio did what none before him dared. He wrote the first known magical system in the Western tradition and claimed authorship. Not revealed by angels, not passed down by mystic patriarchs, but invented, organized and refined by a human being. This alone made the book heretical on multiple levels. It was not a cult because it was lost. It was a cult because it was hidden on purpose, too powerful to be trusted with fools. Yet de Umbris et Manifestis survived, but barely. One manuscript, one fragile parchment copy, likely scribed in 15th century Italy and eventually shelved away in France. Had it been lost, the world would have forgotten that such a mind had ever dared to map the demonic stars. Antonio even went further, writing a second text on hermetic image magic with spells allegedly used to ward off royal armies. He left behind more than ideas. He left tools, methods, a complete philosophy of supernatural power. And yet, he was never burned. Somehow Antonio outwitted the flames. Maybe he never lectured too loudly. Maybe he was protected. Or maybe, just maybe, the demons he summoned kept him safe. This is Abyssal Narratives. If you've felt the pull of the arcane tonight, subscribe, support the channel, and ring the bell to stay bound to the unknown. More forgotten grimoires, dark histories, and ancient powers await.